Hey, what's going on, team? It's Ricky with Learn Plan Profit. Hope that you guys are all having a good start to the morning. I'm gonna start, or no, my screen's already showing. I think we're all good. Good morning, good morning. Hope that you guys are all having a good start. Let's go ahead and check out how everything's doing today. How are you guys feeling? What's going on, Shalak? What's going on, James? What's going on, Cynthia? What's up? What's up? I do apologize. I want to apologize for that thumbnail. As you guys could see, um, let's see. Oh, here we go. As you guys can see on my side, it was there. It was the Learn Plan Profit thumbnail, all that stuff. And yeah, it just did not update on, I don't know why. When I posted the link, I saw the Dan Bilzerian thing, and I was like, um, yeah, it was a little weird. But yeah, shouldn't matter too much, right? /CL took a pretty solid drop, right around 6 o'clock, pushed up right away. It's beginning to consolidate, and now it's beginning to sell off. So because of that pullback shoot, and here we go. Let's see. Nope, and there I missed it. Yeah. All right. Well, we're all about missing these. Jeez. Let's see, we're right back around the SMA line, which means that there it goes, beginning to try to push back up. Make this a little smaller. Here it goes. What's up? What's up? Alrighty. Margin's not big enough. It's about 1%, if that. So I'm going to have to hold off on that. So natural gas, let's check that out. So since its peak at 2.59, natural gas is doing a really good job. When was it? Selling off. I thought it was going to actually be in favor of degas. And then all of a sudden it began to change its direction. As you guys can see, this is where it closed yesterday. Natural gas started to sell off, which is in favor of degas, right, when natural gas pulls back. But then we began to show signs of an uptrend. And then all of a sudden, right, as it turns to be like 4 or 5 o'clock, we begin to pull back once again. And there it goes. Like, natural gas is actively selling off right now, which should be in favor of degas. But also, it's bounced here before, and we're kind of close to that. So TNDM above 66. All right. So let's see. Am I getting all the messages right now? Let's see. Am I? Yeah. Okay. Alrighty. I'm gonna set my alerts. Here we go. Crude oil's bouncing right back again. What are you guys watching today? Anything that's catching your eye? So /CL, again, from where it closed, was selling off, pushed up, selling off, selling off, selling off, and then again, right as it turns to be 6 o'clock, it begins to change its overall direction. So, hey, what's going on, Salty? What's up? What's up? /NG. Spencer, what's up? Good morning, Alvin. /GC. /NG just dropped below that support that we just set, right? There it goes, making lower lows. Everything's trending sideways. Yeah, I would say the only thing that is, as of right now, that I've noticed that's actively either selling off or pushing up is natural gas. Everything else is kind of just consolidating. Gold, definitely consolidating with a little bit of a downtrend right now, but not enough for it to be significant. We got, the overall market /NQ opened up in the green, right? So that's good. We could see that right there. But overall, it's kind of still just consolidating. No true, we don't know if this thing's going to begin to push up or push down. And that's what we mean by it's just trading sideways. There's not a super clear direction. And how could it be clear? Well, the market's been kind of inconsistent anyway, so it's not going to be like I'm going to be able to show you much right now. But Right now, it looks like the market is trying to pull back, especially on /CL. We'll see if we do get it pushed down. You guys can see that it peaked, right? And then now it's indicating signs of it potentially being able to sell off just a little bit more. But I just didn't see the margin of profit on DWT to be worth it. So I'm trying to find what resistance is it going to hit, and we can see that it hit highs of 4.62, and even with those highs, with where it's at right now to 4.62, that's about 1%. And just asking myself, it's not completely worth it, right? Oh yeah, I tried to put my limit order here to buy, and I did not get filled. So it's up 65%. Couldn't get filled, as you guys can see right here. So wow, /CL with that push. So yep, there it goes. Should we just try to get filled? I'm gonna close this out. So right now it's in between 250 and 255. So how about we just set our alerts for a potential pullback? I don't think it's gonna pull back. I just wanted to make a video talking about it. I thought it would have been interesting. But yeah, if anything, it's just gonna gain, I would say, more exposure. It's definitely not normally what and there it goes. Wow, it's still, wow. I want to see what happens if it's definitely pushing up, right? So let's go in. I'm going to go in with like 300 shares, right? We'll do that. We'll do limit order, and we'll do it at 87. How about that? Yeah, not getting filled. Oh. Okay. So my TD Ameritrade is lagging, is what it was saying. So I have $885 worth of whatever this thing is. I want to see how easy it is to sell it. I want to test the volatility, right? Okay. That wasn't bad. Is the ask really at 389 now? Oh, there it goes, dropping. Yeah, I would definitely like you guys heard in yesterday's video. If you're someone that's really trying to grow your account and invest or take quality trades, there's no patterns to go off of on BILZF. Indicators are not going to be very important. This thing, as of right now, I would say is just taking a very momentum, penny stock type of approach. It won't work on Robinhood. It won't work on any brokerage, in the sense that does not allow OTC stocks. That's simple. So yeah, so it does not appear on Robinhood, which I think is honestly pretty good. There's a great deal of people that are just getting started, and I just would hate them to get caught in something that even if I did lose the $1,000, that it's just and it's still going up. So there it goes. Let's see. We'll definitely try it out, and no, we're definitely not buying that much. So all right, let's just set alerts and then follow up with it, right? I think it'd be interesting to kind of see what ends up happening with this. But all right, let's go ahead and move back to what's important. What actually makes sense, right? So yeah, there's definitely just gonna be a lot of hype behind it. I thought it would have been something interesting to talk about, and yeah, Whoa. Dude, this thing is pushing. Do you guys see this? Right? There it goes, pulling back. It was tough to get filled. Yeah, there's not going to be a lot of volume on this one. Diaz still showing signs of an uptrend. Natural gas still selling off. Here we go. Crude oil beginning to show signs of a pullback. Do you guys see this? Okay, there it goes. Became a little bit more on the overextend side, now beginning to pull back. I like that. So again, the more that it sells off, the more that DWT then pushes up. One of the things that I'm beginning to notice, and correct me if I'm wrong, overall /CL was showing signs of a descending pattern. It was getting rejected by this SMA line. And there it goes, huge sell-off on /CL. It pushed up enough, it's beginning to consolidate here, right? And then now because of that consolidation, it's now validating almost this SMA line as a potential support, which is kind of crazy. So I don't know how I feel about this volatility. This is moving way too quick for something that like I trade too often, and not too sure if I feel, comfortable with that. So you can't buy with a market order. You have to buy with a limit order because it's an OTC stock. So there's so many risks. Just there, and the reason that your brokerage is doing that is because there's so many risks trading this OTC stock. Like in the traditional aspect, with like what comes with an OTC stock, right? Just be aware of that. It's like a true penny stock. And yeah, it's like funny because it's like pushing up right now and it's like cool, but trust me, like me having 100K in my account and going in with $1,000, that's like if you have $1,000 in your account and going in with like $10 or $1, right? It's like we're just doing it for the fun of it and just to see it, to see what happens. Like if I hold this position and 10 years from now or like a year from now, right? Like whatever the case may be, or even a week from now, it's just more to see what happens. And right now it's already pulling back, and there it goes. Over the counter. Yep. What is an OTC stock? So over the counter stock. There it goes. BILLZF is actually going in the negative now. It's actually now dropping below $3. So you guys see that? Look at that pullback. Even penny stocks can go through pullbacks. I like it. But yeah, so let's see. /GC. Dropped 25% in a minute. Yep. And do you guys know what happens if it pushes or drops that great deal amount of percentage in that short period of time? It can get halted, right? Which isn't good news for it. So okay, yeah, so it's already been halted. That's pretty. Let's see. There's like nothing off of this right now. I have all my alerts set over here, right? Yeah. Holy smokes. /CL with the sell-off. Do you guys see this happening? Same pattern, right? Same pattern where it pushes up, consolidates, and then sells off. Pushes up, consolidates, and then sells off. It doesn't last for a very long time. Look at these sell-offs, right? It doesn't last for a very long time. It drops and then recovers, drops and then recovers. So you have to understand like the low points for DWT and the high points for for DWT, which is the exact opposite of what's going on right now, right? All right. Gold is selling off. I did see that. I saw that very quickly that gold was having, a change of direction. So it's beginning to make lower lows and lower highs. This sell-off was pretty aggressive. Let's see if it actually recovers. I'd like to see if it actually shows any signs of a recovery. Yep. All right, let's see. /NQ. /NQ looking a little bit more on the overbought side. Do you guys see this based off previous patterns? It can continue to uptrend, but just keep an eye out for that. That was a pretty aggressive sell-off, huh? Right as the market opened. Ooh. Pretty crazy, huh? All right. See, trying to see if we get a change of direction. Getting consolidation on /CL, right? There is no indicator other than like being able to see like the volume and the price action and how that follows. So there are, I think Lido just shared like different reasons on why you can get halted. And it's for regulatory reasons. So like if they one of the main reasons that I see, especially lower cap stocks, and overall just penny stocks getting halted, is when they move such a quick percentage within a very short period of time that they'll continue to halt it. Like the SEC will literally just halt it, look a little bit more into it, see if it's actually being manipulated, and then continue. So it's one of the huge risks in trading these lower cap penny stocks, that it comes with. It comes with the territory. That's the easiest way for me to put it. So, hooey, Jared, look at you. I like that. See you guys coming back. I don't know about that. I mean, it's pushing up, right? But just like it did before it continued to sell off. So overall, it's still a descending pattern. I wouldn't really say it's coming back. If anything, it looks like it's peaking out. Look at the RSI, look at the MACD. Would make sense to me on why it would begin to, pull back and sell off right there. So overall, SMA line is now trending down. So I'd be very careful. If it continues to push up, then great. But at any indication of a pullback, you know, don't be afraid to lock in profit. So where are we at? DWT with that push. I like that. So DWT pushing up, /CL still selling off. I like that. Well, have a good day. So we're bringing this one up. Your plan is support 32. Okay, so I definitely see. So you're going into this more because I would say Uber would be viewed as someone that dominates, kind of like you know, between Lyft and Uber. I would definitely say that Uber is definitely more worldwide, right? So I would just really take into consideration its current direction. I'm all for, if you think that you're going to invest in it long term, which is what it sounds like, you're saying possible long play. I just want to remind you that, it's not showing signs of growth. So I don't know how much experience you have with the overall market, but with how it looks like right now, it's trading below the SMA line, right? And it's actively downtrending and making lower lows and lower highs, and it can continue to do that. So I have one little simple thing that I like to kind of tell myself. It's if I'm so certain, and challenge yourself. If you're so certain that something is going to show signs of growth, but it's currently selling off, then test yourself. Test yourself and actually wait. Wait for it to show you signs of growth. I'm all for going in long term as long as it makes sense. As of right now, to me, this does not make sense. There's no indication of higher highs and higher lows. If you want to grow your account, then partake in patterns that are showing signs of growth. But for the past 2 months, all Uber has been doing is selling off. So because of that, this thing can shoot up tomorrow, but there is no indication of that. So if you're going to be buying the dip just to buy the dip because you believe in the company, then accept that and then, go in it understanding that it can continue to downtrend. But if you actually want to maybe if you don't deal with something selling off too effectively, then maybe waiting for confirmation wouldn't be the worst idea, right? Waiting for higher highs, waiting for this thing to begin to trade above the SMA line. It has time. It has time and margin for it to push up. It literally means that you just, you give up about 5% for potentially losing money, right? So I would say that patience goes a long way, especially in the stock market. I hope and that's just my opinion. At the end of the day, you are the final decision maker on what you should trade. So please, if there's a reason behind it and a fundamental reason, and you know that I don't know anything that's going to be released about Uber. I'm just going solely off the technicals. So Josh, I appreciate you asking me. I just want you to be your own person, right? And set up your own plan. I just wanted to share your opinion because you asked me to, and I hope that that's something that you can at least understand, right? But I want to make sure that you know that I want you to take any approach that you see value in. But yeah, and it's selling off on the day chart, right? So crude oil with the sell off. Oh, I didn't know that. That's pretty crazy. The employees and investors can sell Uber in November. Just wait. I've never worked for a company that offered preferred shares in comparison to you know any of the outstanding shares. So I think that's pretty crazy. So sell off. Please explain. Uh, you want me to explain this sell off? It's just I don't understand. What do you mean? So it's beginning to consolidate the MACD and the RSI. All that looks decent. We're just still, again, actively selling off, as in it's pulling back. But yeah, and other than that, there's not much that I can say on what caused the sell off. You have access to the news. Yeah, this thing's all over the place. So you would have to see what was released right around 6:30 to 6:40 to see if there was anything that caused this thing to sell off. So um, yeah, I as of right now, I would say that it's solely just technicals that's pretty much just creating this volatility. And we talked about trying to identify a pattern, but again, we've said multiple times that with news just being thrown at this from time to time, it makes it difficult to trade off of technicals. I think that's why yesterday I was struggling to trade DWT. I took two consistent losses with it when I thought it made sense. And I didn't want to talk too much in yesterday's video, but I can actually show you guys right here on DWT. I was up on my DWT position yesterday. On my first one, I was up about $500 or $600, and I ended up having to cut losses. Where'd it go? I just didn't want to talk too much. No one, again, really cares too much about if I make or lose money. So I was just I'm not going to waste my time doing it. I just wanted to show my P&L, show that I took the 1.1% loss. But I bought at 4.54, right? And then it pushed up. And as it peaked out here, I was up about $500 or $600, maybe $700. I'm not too sure. And then it began to pull back. I had my stop loss set. I had an OCO bracket actually, and then it sold off. And then I bought in at this area, and then it began to indicate signs of an uptrend. Locked it in real quick, and then took another one. Ended up having to cut losses. It just was not going according to plan. Easiest way for me to put it. I thought that it had more potential to continue to push up, and it just wasn't performing the way that I expected it. So right now, /CL overall is, although it is consolidating, this thing can 100% continue to sell off. So because of that, I wouldn't be so comfortable thinking that, hey, this thing's bound to push up. So please watch out for that. And Tesla has been dropping the last few days. Yeah, there it goes, selling off. So watch out for all you DWT holders. You guys might get a nice little push right now. There's a lot of things pushing. A lot of you guys are trying to update me right now. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it is frustrating. It is frustrating, but Ernesto, one of the things that I tried to remind myself is there is absolutely nothing that I can I'll either like just watch. I try to still set myself up for success. It doesn't mean that I have to overtrade or anything like that. I still wanted to have some form of like criteria, right? And allow a setup to happen. But one of the things that I had to realize is that like, I took the risk. It was going according to plan. I could have locked in profits in a sense better. And I definitely could have. I could have been up $600. I would have taken that other loss and it would have not been so much. Uh, but at the end of the day, we just have to see. One of the things that I've been picking up on it, and you guys can definitely like watch my past videos for the past 3 weeks. I went from trading natural gas to then only really trading crude oil, and then now only really trading crude oil. I've picked up on that, like I haven't been doing too hot the past couple of weeks, and I've been realizing that. And then yesterday was just pretty much a confirmation where I was just like, the volatility is really just not something that I'm playing well with. Some people might be, but others possibly aren't. And because of that, maybe I just have to take a break from trading DWT and UWT, just because the volatility might be something that's playing against me, right? Or I'm just not working well with. So it's just certain things that I can easily pick up on. And if I see a consistent pattern with any of the other commodities or focuses that I have in the market, then maybe I can pay my attention there. But I'm never here to blame, you know, the market or blame, like I'll always accept and own up to my red days. Like it's the market that we partake in, and it is our job. It is literally our job. Like my stop loss yesterday really helped me out. Like all I was trading with yesterday, as soon as I would get filled, is an OCO bracket. So I would set a limit order to lock in profits and a stop loss to close out my positions, and it worked out very well. So not completely, Daniel. Yeah, I mean, I'm trading with a larger dollar amount. You don't need the volatility. I agree. I agree that it's not as in like I don't need these huge movements, right? My biggest focus has always been patterns, and it's just been more difficult for me to pick up on those patterns when the volatility is present, right? So did you ever trade JDST and JNEG or just swing them? No, I traded them as well. So if you were in the very early parts of Lone Time Profit, you would have seen that. So Ricky, no more vacations with Hawaii to Hawaii with a girlfriend. Yeah, I need to earn those vacations, right? And we've definitely not been earning them the past week or so. So you think that next month will be better time for trading as opposed to August and September? Conrad, based off of, yeah, just like people are sharing right now, these type of months don't necessarily always are not always the most consistent, but at the end of the day, like there's seasons that do fulfill and don't fulfill, right? So yeah, I would just like try to think, Conrad, the way that I would try to position it is like try to think what set of patterns and criteria you want a stock to meet, and then ask yourself every single morning that you wake up or every single week that you review the market, and ask yourself, is this something that's meeting my criteria? If it's not, then be like, okay, well then I just won't partake in it. That's simple, right? Like don't be afraid to step away. Don't be afraid to force a trade. Don't force a trade when you have the option of simply stepping away, right? What is the number one reason you think you're having problems with? The consistent change of directions. It's just like I'm having a more difficult time identifying kind of like the flow, right? So like there's a very consistent flow here, and there's times that I do pick up on the kind of like direction very nicely, but this volatility, like I don't like it, and I don't know. I want there to be a clear direction of low points, high points, low points, high points, and just as something was about to push up and then changes its overall direction and continues to sell off, it's kind of just like, okay, it's just a little indifferent, like makes it a little bit more difficult to identify what to focus on, especially when you're trading these like ETFs and inverse ETFs, right? Just so you guys have a quick little update on BILZF, this thing is pulling back, and if anything, I could expect there to be a pretty solid pullback. The MACD is consolidating. I don't think that this thing's going to rely too much on that. But it sucks for all those that got up here. You can't even see the percentage. But let's see. Yeah, pretty crazy. So it's trying to consolidate. We'll set our alerts just for what it's worth. I'm really just taking this as an experience to watch something push up or push down, right? Once it loses its hype and its demand, it becomes like every other OTC stock and it just becomes stagnant or continues to sell off. So yeah, so Ricky, could you explain your strategy when setting your limit price on an OCO bracket? There's no strategy. It's just understanding like, where I would like to sell and why, for there to be a reason behind that. So based off of, if I was looking at, DWT. So with how things played out, you guys all saw when DWT was down here and it was showing signs that it was potentially pushing up, right? So I called out the resistance at 4.60. I didn't care that it could go up higher. So like, let's say when I would set my OCO bracket, I would set my limit order at, let's say 4.59. So right below that resistance. And then I'll set my stop loss at, okay, well, it hasn't broken below 52. So I'll set my stop loss there and I'll get filled at 54. So at 4.4 with a stop loss at this, so 0.5% and a margin of profit of 1.3%. So that's the way that I would view it. It's just like setting up your plan just like you do with your ticker call out format, but then filling it out with the OCO bracket. So for those that don't know, I'll be making a video about like how to set it up. On mobile, it's much easier to set up an OCO bracket, but this is the way that I set it up. I'm sure it's not the only way. But what I do here is where it says advanced order, I click on OCO, and then I right click here. I say create duplicate order, and the OCO bracket, the OCO order will literally just link these two together. So what OCO means is one cancels the other. So I don't have a position on DWT, but if I did, it has the same amount of shares, right? So you just make sure that that's correct, and then you'll set your limit order and then you'll set your stop, right? So one's a limit order to sell, one's a stop loss, and then whichever one gets filled first cancels the other, and that's it. So is Ricky? No, I'm not in it. It was just an example. This is why I didn't want to do it. But no, I'm not in anything. I'm not, yeah. But yeah. Okay, so people are saying use advanced, let's see. Okay, yeah, the offset, you can definitely set it up like that. So for those that want to, but you guys know that I never use the advanced trader option, right? No, I've done that too. So you go like this, and then it says like buy, right? Where is it? I create custom order, right? Buy custom, and then with OCO. But it sets up all these different things that I don't want, right? It's setting up the buy, and then I guess it does set it up all at the same time, right? Yeah, but usually when I use the OCO bracket, it's when I'm already filled, so I don't normally use it right as I'm about to buy something. So I think that's the little bit of a different approach. But I appreciate you guys all have different ways of using it, and I think that's super cool, right? So whatever way is easier for you, I think that's the way to go. So, yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty much it. So we're at 7:10 right now. Let's see. Beginning to get some form of consolidation, right? So it looks like it's trying to build this potential reversal pattern. It's still selling off. Huge pullback on the overall market. Huge push up on /GC. Maybe, right? Maybe in the long term. or in the future, right? I'm gonna go check out another property today. This is one that I'm doing by myself, and it's one that actually one of my buddies, Nick, introduced me to. So Nick showed me the house. It's a house that someone is wholesaling. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but yeah, this house is worth about 220 to 240,000, and this individual is wholesaling it for 190. Um, at least that's what he's asking. So I'm gonna go check it out today at 1. So it's 7 a.m. right now. Um, Marlene, my biggest focus would be direction. When you find there to be a consistent pattern with a clear direction of what's turning up, what's turning down, you can identify the low points, the high points, and you can follow through with that. It's been very, very just it's been very, very difficult to find a consistent pattern with a clear direction and it to continue to fulfill that overall flow. So careful with them wholesales. Oh, definitely. With a few inspectors, of course. I am about to get into JDST. I would still not, again, this thing can 100% continue to push up. I would still wait for confirmation of a sell-off before I go in on, um, what's it called, on JDST. This thing can continue to uptrend, especially with this huge push. Just think about it. This thing was selling off before I had a huge push. So again, don't doubt the overall market to continue to sell off with the gold pushing up. So. And there it goes. Crude oil is literally getting rejected nonstop. And that is just in favor of DWT. So I don't see any, I see, yeah, DWT to be pushing up and showing signs of an uptrend, but I don't find it to be a good deal. I'm not going to touch UWT, and there it goes. Huge push on DWT. I'm not going to touch UWT because that one's selling off and not changing directions. Overall market, again, kind of just consolidating. We don't know if it's going to continue to sell off or push up. And same thing with gold. So because of that and gas, this thing's like, yeah, not doing too well right now. So I'm definitely not going to touch that. So and there it goes. Just like we expected, huge sell-off on overall, /CL, which is then in favor of DWT. So congrats to everyone that held DWT. Don't be afraid to lock in profits whenever you, again, think that you see it finding a resistance. But oh shoot, Jason, I wasn't able to check yesterday. Our AC went out on the other house and I went to go check with the inspectors and it totally just passed my head to check for the mail. I do apologize. I will check today. So I'll make sure that the guys that are over there right now, that they check the mail before they come. I appreciate you reminding me though. Tesla is tanking. DWT with a huge push. Oh no, is the market selling off? Shoot. There it goes. Yeah. Alright. Oh, someone's at my door. But yeah. So I'll keep you guys up to date under the trade ideas section. I really hope that you guys found today's video somewhat interesting. The market is still selling off. And again, with any uncertainty, I think it's best just to step away, right? Don't put yourself in a bad situation. Just step away and set yourself up for success. If the market's not in your favor, then take a day off. Easiest way for me to put it. Thank you guys again for your time. Like always, continue working hard, continue following dreams, let your passion build jobs for success. I'll be pretty active today in the trade idea section just because I at least want to answer a good amount of questions. I'm just going to make myself a Nutella sandwich after I check my door. Hope you guys have an amazing rest of your Tuesday. Take it easy.